Hello everyone and welcome back to the next video in our Orcad X mechanical keyboard video series. Again, my name is Adam and today we are going to finally get started on the PCB layout for our design. Now I have here open the schematic, and between the last video and this one I've done just a couple small things just to make sure that we're ready to export our design into layout. So if I go to, for example, this controller page, you'll notice I added a couple of these no connects on some of the pins. This is just for my own sort of clarity so that I remember, hey, there's nothing connected to here. I didn't accidentally miss placing a connection. If you leave it open without the no connect, it works just fine. One other thing that I did is on my appendix page, I took a screenshot of the circuits that I had drawn and just replaced them with an image here. Now the reason I did that is I didn't want those extra components to, for some reason, get placed into my layout, right? I didn't need these extra switches. These were just an example so that you guys could understand how the switch multiplexing works. Okay, so let me jump back to the cover page. Now, usually before you get ready for annotating to your PCB or, exporting your design to your PCB, you want to do something called annotation, which if I right click on my design here and click annotate, what this will do is, update all of the reference designators on your design. If you have intersheet references on your design, if you have off-page connectors on your design, such as these right here, you can add intersheet references, meaning you'll get a little reference here that says, this USB_DP is connected to page 3. So here you will see a page 3 indicator. Now, because this isn't a fully official design, I'm actually pretty happy with how it assigned reference designators sort of on the go. I don't need to re-annotate my design. I also don't really need to add intersheet references, as this is, a very small design. So without doing those extra steps, I can still export to layout and be pretty much good to go. So to do that, we're first going to go under the design sync setup, so PCB design sync setup, and just make sure that you set your select layout tool to Orcad X Presto, our new layout editor. Once that's done, go ahead and click OK. And then all you need to do is go to PCB, new layout, and then in the board section, you can go ahead and name your board. So mine is going to be the Orcad X keyboard video series.brd. If you want to change the name to, board 1, board 2, whatever it might be, you can change it here. Just make sure that it has this .brd at the end. It should work without it, but just in case. And then this PCB layout folder under your project, if you don't already have an Allegro folder, it will create an Allegro folder and place the layout in there, or you can change that folder if you want to. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK. It says this board file already exists. We can go ahead and replace that, and it should launch our PCB editor for us. All right, now by default, when the PCB editor first launches, you'll notice that we have a sample board outline already placed on the design. And if we go into the search panel at the bottom here, we should see all of our components. Now, if for some reason you don't see these components, double check your session log and just see if you have any errors in here or violations. Usually, if for some reason maybe you didn't include some of your footprints in the correct folder, or maybe there's an illegal character in one of your symbols, you should get an error at least in the export step, so in Orcad X Capture. But if for some reason you didn't notice, or maybe that error got skipped, you should also be able to notice it in the layout here. Now, if I take a look on the right side here, in my status, we'll get a really nice overview of, how is the design going? In this case, we just started it. So, we have 279 out of 279 unplaced components. We also have unrouted nets and unrouted connections, where connections is every point-to-point line that you could draw, whereas nets is an entire net. So as we're going through this design, we will actually be taking a look at the status every once in a while just to get an idea of, am I getting close to finishing routing all the nets? do I still have some unrouted connections? Maybe if I can't find it graphically on my canvas, I can just click on this and we'll get a link of all of those connections in our design. All right, so what we're going to do in the next video is actually get started with the placement for our, not the placement for our board. Before we start the placement, we need to do some design setup, and that includes the board outline and the layer stack up for our design. So yeah, I believe that is it for this video. I will see you guys in the next one, and yeah, take care.